everybody, welcome to my channel, Yarn Barf. My name is Christy, and I'm good at making yarn barf. Anyway, I'm going to try to make a little video today. I am crocheting with multiple strands of yarn. I started out with 3 and a size L hook. 2 strands of worsted weight, 1 strand of 2 weight, and then just to keep things interesting, I added some more of some weird, similar to a paper, but it's not paper, but it's from that discontinued yarn site. I am using a size L hook. I will tell you, when you crochet like that, speed is not going to be a factor. You really can't, I don't think so, crochet super quick, because you're going to end up dropping one of those thin strands. You're going to discover it 2 rows later and be like, son of a gun. So I'm going to show you how I do it, and I hope maybe it helps. Now, you learn too by experimenting, taking 2 strands of yarn, what size hook to use. With 2 worsted weights, you can usually get by with a J hook or a K hook, depending on how you crochet. Are you a tight crocheter, a loose crocheter? But when you add 3 strands, you're going to need a K at least, if not a larger hook. You'll see once you get going, say, this isn't going to work. So I tried an L hook. First I tried an M. I said, that's too big. I don't want my fabric to be that loose and loopy, you know, because I may not line the pocketbook. I might try. I have fabric. I have a sewing machine that I haven't used in 40 years. So I don't know if it's going to get lined or not. But I do wanted to show you how I'm crocheting now with 4 strands of yarn, 2 4 weights, 1 2 weight, and 1 oddball novelty yarn. Well, as you can see, I've got my yarn lined up. This is a 4 weight. This is Super Saver in the colorway of Favorite. This is, oh darn it if I can remember, but I really liked it, and I think it's a DK weight or a 2 or a 3 weight, but it's got sparkle. And this is the oddball, which I thought was paper, but it's actually not. But I got this from Discontinued Yarns. So at the last minute I said, let me throw that in here and let's see what we get. Now, keep your strands untangled over here on this side. I weave it through my fingers. I'm going to chain 2, and we're going to do a double crochet row. But you're going to see you can't work really fast, because you're going to end up dropping a loop, and you'll discover it. You might discover it rows later. But you might be able to fudge and cover it up, or if some people are perfectionists and they definitely want to rip it out. And so double crochet. That chain 3 counts as I chained 2. Chain 2 counts as your first double crochet, so you don't crochet in that first loop, you crochet in this one. But as you can see, sort of slow going. Gotta be sure all your loops stay on the hook. Here we go, and then I double check. Okay, we got all 4. Alright, yarn over and pull through these last 2. Sometimes it's tricky. See, it is one little strand holding things up here. Get past that one strand and we'll be good. Let's see if I can adjust this camera just a little bit better. Let's see if we can lower it maybe. I'm always envious of people who get great camera work. I'm like, they make it look easy. And it's not easy. So the easier someone makes something look, obviously the more practice they've had at it. It's like a musical instrument. Banjo, I used to play the 5-string banjo. I'd gotten quite good on it. So, and then I met other banjo players, and they were very good at it. Well, I happen to know that thousands of hours went into playing the same song over and over and over again to make it look easy, so it came out good. So, but there's thousands of hours. So here we go. Maybe got a better look now. I got all 4 strands. Do it nice and slow. It's not a speed race. I'm enjoying the process and the feel of the yarn. I'm enjoying the way it's looking. It's looking interesting. And then every now and then I've got to get all of its tension right here, you know, so it doesn't get all loopity-doopity. There we go. Now the next stitch. Now I feel like something got hung up here. Let's see. Nope, nope, nothing did. Okay. The thin yarn actually is the most trouble, especially when I threw the fourth one into the mix. So let's keep it interesting. Oh, this is definitely making it more interesting. I thought it was paper, but it's not. It's just the strangest, whatever it is, the strangest yarn I've ever worked with. Alrighty. Like I say, every now and then you gotta straighten out all your strands here. Trying to keep your tension even in your hand that does the tension. For me, it's my left hand. I crochet with my right hand. I'm left-handed, but I crochet right-handed. My mother was right-handed, so she was unable to teach me left-handed. And my whole life I've done everything as a right-hander, except for eat and write. So, I mean, so I'm not a true left-hander, I guess. I can use right-handed scissors. I play all my instruments right-handed. I knew a girl who was left-handed. She taught herself how to play the guitar. The crazy thing was, she had the thing upside down. She played it upside down, and I think she switched the strings. It was just the craziest dang way. But it worked. She could play. Cracked me up. Oh, how the heck do you do that? She figured it out on her own, and that's what she came up with. This crazy upside down strings all restrung a different direction. Well, whatever works. I guess I could crochet. See, here's a thin strand right here. Can you see that little thin strand? I gotta get under that and get that on there. There we go. This is gonna definitely have texture to it. Not something you'll ever want to wear. It'll be majorly itchy. Well, like I say, I can just take my time. And if it doesn't feel right, you know what? I pull it out, try it again. There we go, try again. Ah, there we go. Now you see how this yarn kind of looped up? You can't see it. Hands in the way. Doggone it. I need invisible hands. So yeah, every now and then you're just going to have to smooth out your strands because they're going to get a little bunched up, which is normal when you're working with 3-4 strands of yarn. That's going to happen. So go with that one and that one and this one. And I don't crochet tight, but I do notice I seem to be crocheting a little bit tighter with this project, though I ordinarily do not crochet tight. I don't crochet loose either. My mother told me you just want it loose enough where you can easily draw it through the stitch. She showed me how to make a decent chain. It's your first part. Get the chain and all your loops consistent size, not too tight, not too loose, just right. Okay, everything's still loose here. Make sure you have a strand hung up somewhere. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes if I'm not sure, I will back it, I will pull it out. I'll pull out one stitch. I do not frog my work. I am not a frogger. But I can also do this. I can just pull it up like this. See what I'm doing? And then just make sure I have 1, 2, 3, and I'm not seeing 1. I'm not seeing. Here's the red one. Which one are we missing? I think I'm missing one. So you know what? I'll back out of it. Go back to this one, which I knew was perfect. Okay. Do over. That one works perfect. Yep. Alrighty, so this is what we've got so far. I started doing this new weird stuff, I don't know, this morning. Last night I was up late again, trying to catch lives, and Infinitely Zero, Nessa was on, which is awesome. I'm glad I caught her. And I caught her just in time. She was live, but it was 1:45 in the morning, and I'm falling asleep. But, hold on, let me get back to the other camera. Like I was saying, I was in bed, I'm dozing off, and Infinitely Zero, Nessa, was on, and I tuned in just in time to hear her mention my friend Stephanie and the High Expectation shawl that she made. I think she said she made it in a day. She's fast, and that took some dedication. You got to sit down about 12 hours to make that. I don't know, unless she used more than one ball. If she used one ball, maybe. But I use at least 1.5 balls for Dawn Yarn Dolls. You can easily do 2 balls of Roll With It Sparkle, which is 561 yards, to make Bag O' Day Crystal's High Expectations shawl, which has its own edging as you make it. It makes its own edging. It's great. It's like that pie you can put in the blender and put it in a pie dish, and it bakes, and it makes its own crust, it makes its own filling, bakes its own topping. That's a High Expectations blanket. And then Crystal popped in. So, you know, she's our crochet goddess. And I was like fangirling. I didn't drool and go nuts or anything. It's just, hi, Crystal. I'm like, oh my God, it's Crystal. It's exciting. But yeah, that was nice that she's able to. And then Nessa did thank me for the shout out. Yeah, because she's good peeps. She does Tunisian along with other things. And, you know, we all try to support each other. That's very important with this community. In fact, Dee's Creative Hands the other night, she did her live. Well, near the end of the live, everyone decided to get generous. Everyone, oh, I want to donate a mystery box. So here we go. Everybody type in whatever word Dee said. And then the mystery, whatever word she wants us to type in. And then another mystery box. I think there were 6 of them at least given away. And Dee, poor Dee, she was in tears again just from all the love and generosity that was shown in her live. I was kind of teasing Stephanie. I said, man, she couldn't have. Reminds me of Tammy Faye Baker. She was always crying. No, Dee's not Tammy Faye Baker. And she's had a lot of reason for tears lately. But her tears last night were happy tears. Just because the amount of love and generosity shown in that live. With everybody wanting to gift everyone else. If I wasn't so low on funds, I would have done one too. But it's near the end of the month, I'm low on funds because it costs to mail. Unless you know of a free mailing service, I don't. Now, if you live, 2 blocks away, I'll hand deliver it. Anyway, I know it was hard to. I'm going to have to practice with this camera to get it just right. Maybe higher up. I don't know. This is just trial and error, right? Oops, I just dropped it. There goes the hook. I'm always dropping stuff. I hate that. Because my back hurts. And guess who's got to pick it up? I need a trained dog. I need a service dog. Pick that up, please. Of course, I got to find it first. Of course, it probably rolled the furthest away it could roll. Because that's Murphy's Law. Of course, I can't see it, or I used to be able to pick things up with my toes. Years ago, and I'm talking like 1970, 71, I was with a boyfriend, and it was becoming daylight. We'd been up late drinking at the bar the night before. And the sun started streaming in. It was kind of hurting my head a little bit. So I reached out my leg, I pulled the cord for the blinds and lowered the blinds. He turned around and looked at me and says, "What am I dating, a trained ape?" Yes, so I got quite good at picking things up with my toes. In fact, one day my dear friend Nancy, my mom, and I were sitting around in the kitchen being silly. And we don't even think we were drinking. We were just being silly. And talking about our talented feet. And I said, I wonder if we can write with our feet. So now we've got paper on the floor, pens between our toes, and everybody wanting to see if they can write with their toes. Nancy and I laughed about our big toes. Our big toes, and her big toe is bigger toe than my toe. Said it looked like the lawn doctor thumb. We had a lot of laughs that day. That's a good memory. I reconnected finally with Nancy after many, many years. She was my best friend for years. We used to hang out at the bowling alley, shoot pool. Loved her dearly, but she's living in New York. I told her she could come live with me. She said, oh, I could never live in a red state. Really? Well, I could never live in a blue state. Isn't New York the state that told you can't drink big gulps anymore? What? Who is that? Giuliano. Oh, you can't buy big gulps because Because you know how you sit in Long Island traffic, you gotta pee, and there's no place to go. That's all they do is, I drove the LIE when I drove a truck. Man, and you know what? I had to pee sometimes. So I had a bucket, and I had a raincoat. It was a day cab, so I didn't have a bunk to hide in. I managed to find a place off the side of the road, a big enough shoulder. I'm trying to cover the window with a raincoat that I had with me. I'm trying to pee in the bucket. It was terrible. The hardest part of being a woman and driving a truck is if you have to pedal. Ay vey. You know? Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. So I would turn down high-risk loads. I did them for a while, but you have to run for 4 hours straight and not stop. And if you stop, after that, you have to let them know exactly where you are and why you are stopping. Well, I had loads that were worth millions of dollars. I had tobacco loads. I had Nintendo loads. Electronics, millions of dollars. So, trucker's job was very, very important, and I took great pride in it. I don't miss it only because the government ruined it, but you know the goober bit. It could mess up a one-car funeral. Anyway, I will work on getting better camera angles with this camera over here, because I do want to show you things. And I want you to be able to make the hippy-dippy, totally cool boho handbag by Dee's Creative Hands Crochet. And where you use the minimum of 3 strands of yarn. You can add more. I added 4. I could probably add 1 more, but I don't want to raise the hook size. I'm going to continue to use the same hook size. So, anyway, thank you very much for stopping by. I love you all very much. Thank you for being in my YouTube family. And if you're not, please think about joining. It's free. Don't forget, leave a like. Love you guys. Have a blessed, wonderful day and a healthy day.